Now that I caught your attention by using the Pyrocynicals title. So Pyro, if you're watching this video, okay, if this video got somehow somewhat get 1,000 views, like, thanks man, thanks. I have the right to use your title since, you know, your recent MrBeast video, you're not gonna say huge drama, okay? So I'm gonna take this advantage. So you already know the topic that we're gonna talk about, the MrBeast drama here. Well, not necessarily like a MrBeast drama, it's more like his partner drama, because Chris Tyson has came out that he's trans, whatever. And there are two sides of the coins. So I would like to give you, you know, the two sides of the perspective. On one hand, I kind of agree on what people are saying against Chris and people who is supportive of Chris. So I'm just going to give you a both side of this perspective. Now, before I go on to the video, please, this is a huge disclaimer. I'm not taking any sides, okay? I ain't taking any sides. I'm just telling you both parties' perspective, and hopefully I open your mind a little bit. So we're just gonna go on to the people who are supportive of Chris first, then we can go to people who is against Chris. Right. So people who are supportive of Chris, I believe I kind of understand from their position, because Chris is a full-grown man now. Can I even call him that? Chris is a full-grown human being now. It's his decision that whether that he want to be an attack helicopter or M1A1 Abrams, okay? Either way, it's his decision. He's an adult. It's none of our business snooping around into someone's business and tell them, well, not tell them, lecturing them what is morally right and what is morally wrong. Because the only thing that you can do is advise rather than lecturing them. How about advise them? Another thing I would like to add is about Chris Tyson's child. A lot of people say that there goes the father figure. I believe when it comes to father figure, the word father figure itself has been misconcepted, because for me personally, probably I'm just sound dumb by saying this. Maybe I am dumb, but here's my opinion on it. Father figure, I don't think it can be determined by society. It's only determined by the child itself. If the child looks up to his father, let's just say that the father is really a heinous mafia boss. He done a lot of heinous things towards people, and the child looks up to his father, and he can tell society that is my father figure. Of course, society is going to say that, no, that is a really bad father figure that you really have. Yeah, when it comes to father figure, I don't think it's going to be determined by other people. It can only be determined by the child itself. And also, the another part I would like to add before I go on to the opposition side, it was because of the recent Sunny V2's video that how Chris Tyson could potentially ruin MrBeast's brand. I don't think so. I don't think so that Chris Tyson himself could personally ruin MrBeast's brand, because MrBeast is the biggest YouTuber on the planet. Of course, he's gonna have a young, impressionable young kids, but we'll go that topic in later on. But either way, I don't think that MrBeast's brand is gonna go anywhere, because MrBeast himself and Chris Tyson himself are smart enough not to, you know, alienate their own audience. All right, now let's go on to the opposition side. I kind of get it when it comes to the opposition side, since there's a lot of, you know, LGTV stuff happening around the world, and people kind of get sick and tired of it. And the first thing, of course, that I understand from their perspective is because seeing Chris in a different way. Of course, when you look into the recent MrBeast video, you look like Chris Tyson is there, and you kind of like feel uncomfortable in it. I myself also, when I look at Chris like this, I kind of feel uncomfortable either way. That some people are like outright unsubscribing, or perhaps downright do not watch the video at all. You know, seeing something that is already been established, and all of a sudden you see something different, of course you're gonna feel off, and you're gonna, you know, you know that feeling, right? Yeah. So yes, I kind of feel for them. And the second of all, I believe, I'm sorry that I'm bringing the child again, but still, I understand from the people who is opposing when it comes to Chris Tyson and his child, because his child is still young and is very impressionable. I think that he will go into like a hard times, man. I really hope that when he goes to like the elementary school, okay, or probably into a normal school, okay, kindergarten, he will not get bullied because of his, you know, father's decision. I really feel sorry for the guy if somehow that he got bullied just because that his father's church transition thing, you know. So I kind of understand why they, you know, goes against Chris here. And at the same time, the child is very young, is very impressionable. They're afraid that Chris Tyson might influence him on doing something that you can never go back. I kind of get it from their perspective here. Which brings me to my next point, that people on Twitter are blaming Carl because of Chris Tyson's transition. I seriously do not understand why we have to keep pointing fingers on who's the perpetrator here. And the next thing, I understand from that perspective here, because Chris himself is a very well-known man. He has a young, impressionable audience. People are scared that he could potentially influence them on doing something that they're not, which I can understand. Right, now we are into the conclusion. So I believe in conclusion into this video, I'm just gonna say that just wait and see. In the Sunny V2 video where he said that Chris Tyson could be a nightmare for MrBeast, he's not wrong and he's not right at the same time. He's right in the some part of the era, but let me rephrase on what Sunny V2 intentionally trying to say here. He could potentially ruin MrBeast's brand. Okay, potentially. I'm not saying that he wants to destroy MrBeast's brand, no, but Chris Tyson could potentially ruin MrBeast's brand if Chris Tyson choose to keep promoting all these LGBT stuff into the video, okay, and the editors allow it and MrBeast allow it. Of course it's gonna damage MrBeast's brand, but I don't think that Chris would do that, because Chris and MrBeast is smart enough not to alienate their own audience. Because if you really look into it deeply, Chris, he's not harming anyone in this situation. In the video you can already see he's just there. He's just there being a crewmate and being a friend. He's just there in the video. The only things that's changed is that how he dressed and how he identify himself, I guess. But other than that, he's just harmless. He doesn't like promote any LGBT stuff into the video. He doesn't like trying to force things that it shouldn't be there. He's just there. Of course you guys are gonna fire back at me and say that he has a very young, impressionable audience. He could easily influence them, which to that I retort, you need to understand, these guys are content creators, not babysitters. The best thing that both parties can do is just be vigilant on the child itself. On the content creator side, of course, the creator must know that how much of an influence, and know the audience, and know what he should and should not do. And the people who's consuming it must be vigilant on the child and what he is watching and what he's consuming. Okay, that's it. The simple and yet the best solution that you're gonna get. Yeah, I believe that's about it, boys. That's my take on this fiasco of this drama. And please be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think about Chris Tyson's transitioning here. And yeah, I believe that's about it, boys.